Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, July 24th. It is 6:22 right now. Market's going to open in about 8 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick, and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. Got a few things here to update, and we should be good to go. All right, one last thing. All right, looks like we're good to go. So let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. All right, link is sent out. Perfect. And as people start to join in, I'm going to start marking liquidity over here. And going down to the 1 hour. Going down to the 30-minute. Down to the 10-minute. Back down to the 1 minute. And it looks like we are good to go. All right, guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, July 24th. It is 6:26 right now. Market's going to open in about 4 minutes. I've marked up liquidity over here. Closest level of liquidity above is at 40,424, and the closest level below is at 40,389. So those are the two closest levels of liquidity on the screen. We had news this morning at, 4 o'clock, 5:30. 6:45, 7:30. So 4, 5:30. Mark that up over here real quick. 4 o'clock. 5:30. Then we got more news at 6:45, 7, 7:30, and also mark up 8 o'clock as well. So we got some news coming up today, as you guys can see. Liquidity right here just got hit pre-market, guys. First level of liquidity just got hit right there at 4,424. The next level is going to be right here at 40,436. And then we'll go from there. All right, let's see what's here so far. Morning, Steven. Morning, Sadie. Morning, Sam. Morning, CRX. Morning, Adam. Morning, Maria. Right, CRX. May the ticks be with us all, definitely, today. Morning, Joe. Morning, CJ. Morning, everybody. So the second level of liquidity right there got hit as well, guys. So the first one got hit right here. I'm going to clean that up. Second one right here got hit as well. It's pushing through. I'll clean that up as well. We got market opening up in about 2 minutes. As you guys can see, price is kind of just bouncing around right here. One thing that I'm going to do today with my entries is I'm going to be using pending orders. I should have been using pending orders before, but I never really tried them. I want to make sure that they filled at actual price and they didn't feel like a stop order. But I kind of tested it out with some demo accounts or sim accounts pre-market just to see if they fill where I wanted them to fill. And they do. So I'm going to be setting some pending orders today instead of market orders so that I make sure that I get in at proper entry. Because what's been happening in past couple of days is that I'm either getting in kind of late due to slippage or there's just a lot of things that come up. There's low volatility, no direction, etc. But today I'm going to put some pending orders so that I get in right where I want to get in. And I can cancel it whenever I need to. So. All right, guys, market's going to open up in about less than a minute. Price is above the pivots right now. Pivots are starting to angle to the upside. The trend meter is shifting green and the divergence is bullish. So with that said, we have a bullish bias here. Probably looking for some buys. Looking over here at retail sentiment, it is currently 69% short. This indicates that 69% of retail traders are currently selling right now. So I typically want to do the opposite and buy. Morning, Freddie. All right, guys, market is going to open up shortly. We've got 15 seconds till market open. And market is now open. So market actually opened there. Price is pushing up right now. All right, so price hit the next level of liquidity right here. That was the first target. Next target is going to be, there was a market flow entry right there on the opening candle, but obviously you can see how crazy it was moving. I wouldn't have taken it. The good thing here is we do have some volatility. Price is climbing higher. So next level of liquidity right there got hit. Next target is going to be the upper level of liquidity up here, which is also going to be a level, I believe. All right, so the next target price point is actually going to be in this area right here. A lot of things to look for in this area, especially based off the movement right now. All right, so price is climbing pretty heavy right now. There was a nice wick below right here, but there was no structure where it bounced off of, so not really much of a market flow there for me specifically. I'm gonna keep cleaning up these liquidities. Pretty much when the liquidity gets cleared out, I'm gonna clean it up so that we have a cleaner chart to look at. So we had about 3 liquidity levels right here get hit above. And if price continues to climb up higher, target price point is going to be around this area over here, the sessions, the level, liquidity, and some more liquidity up here. There's a lot of areas right there where price can likely, push to. So we'll see where this goes from here and try to look for some entries. I'm just hoping price doesn't start to range like yesterday and get into some chop. That's what we're avoiding for the most part. Trying to avoid the chop. Their volatility right now is pretty decent. So if we do get an entry, I'll be looking for some possible opportunities here. Again, the target price point is going to be up here in this area. I'm going to clean this up a little more. I need price to pull back a little bit, bounce off the pivot and shoot right back up higher. That's what I'm looking for. What I might be worried here for a bit would be the chop, because you guys can see the big wicks right here. It looks like price is kind of consolidating here for a little bit sideways. I want some movement. So I want price to actually pull back kind of hard and then swing back up, of course. So we've got about 7 seconds left on this candle. There's not going to be enough time for it to swing back up, I don't believe. So this is a possible market flow entry right here. Might have been a little too late for entry though. So I'll look for this to swing up. If it swings back up, I'll get into this for a market flow entry. All right, so there's a market flow entry right here. Looks like the volatility here kind of slowed down a bit. Out of my TP down to 60.
Order submitted.
So the volatility here is decent, but it's kind of choppy right now at the moment. Move my TP down a little bit to fit the criteria. It's pushing up right now to TP, full TP right there. So full TP on that entry right there, guys, at
Order fill.
Get in and out very quickly. As you guys can see, price came down, bounced off the pivot, shot right back up, shot straight through the full TP for the market flow entry right there. So again, a lot of choppiness right now, guys. So I'm going to be a little careful with my entries, of course. But there goes the first entry, first win right there for market flow. I was trying to put a pending order, but I just didn't have enough time. It was moving too fast. So there goes our first entry right there, full TP. Moving on to the next one. Be a possible market flow entry here again. It swings back up. All right, let's put a pending order there just in case it swings up. Let's see, we got 20 seconds left. Let's see. All right, I'll put a pending order right here just in case.
Stop film.
Wait, what? I didn't get stopped, guys. So for some reason, it made some noise right there. My entry is actually open right now. Well, it said stop.
Order submitted.
All right, full TP right there again. So two back-to-back full TPs right there, guys. These, I don't know if I can do these pending orders. The pending orders are kind of tripping me out when it says stop filled. It wasn't a stop, it was a buy stop order. That's why it said stop filled. It kind of tripped me out there for a second. But two back-to-back entries right there, full TPs. There might be another one coming up right here. It's a little too late for me to make entry on that. Yeah, so there's another market flow entry that came up right here, guys. I'm not in this one though. It was a little too late for me to enter. It's kind of confusing when I have two mouses that I have to follow. Full TP again right there. So if you guys took the third one, there's 3 back-to-back full TPs for market flow. I only took 2 of them right here, but there were 3 entries that came up right there. So the volatility is great. This is what I'm talking about. We need the volatility here. We don't want price to be in chop. As long as there's volatility and price is actually moving, you know, the market flow entries do hit, and they hit pretty often. So pretty decent profit so far. This price continues to climb out, but yeah, that did trip me out. I was like, stop, Phil. I was like, what stop? But it was a stop order, so it filled the stop order. That's why it says stop filled. But okay, I'm gonna stick to my market orders for right now because it's just moving too fast for me to put these pending orders to even like look at the chart and make adjustments. So again, we're looking for the same thing here. Again, we're looking for price to come back down, bounce off, and shoot right back through up to the target. The target's up here, guys. So that's where we want price to go. We got about 6 seconds left on this candle. All right, so price is trying to climb up to this area up here. This is a target price point that I mentioned again. Still looking for the same thing here to happen. Looking for price to come down, come right back up. Again, at this moment, we're currently at 2 net wins for the day. Got some slippage on a handful of accounts, but it's okay. All right, looking for my entry here, market flow. Looking for the retracement, push back up. you just got to pay attention because it's moving super fast. Luckily, we got into those two first entries there, missed the third one, but that would have been nice. If we had the third one there, we'd be back into net positive for the week. Right now, we're currently at break even because we had two losses for the one loss on Monday, one loss on Tuesday, one win on Monday. So we had two wins right here, basically made it right back. So market's doing pretty much what we expected. I expected volatility to pick up today because we have some pretty heavy news today and tomorrow. And then Friday as well. So we got 42 seconds on this candle here. We're getting a little close to news, so I might have to chill out for a little bit. But if this here swings back up for one more last market flow entry, I'll be looking to take this here right before news happens. So let's see, we got 24 seconds on this candle right here. We're looking for that last market flow entry before news comes. We got 10 seconds left on the candle. Probably not going to get a market flow entry right here. No market flow on this one. Price never swung back up. All right. Already said Apex is pranking me. There is a possible market flow opportunity right here, guys, but it didn't wick down far enough. So it did bounce off the pivot, but it didn't wick down far enough for me to want to take it. I needed to come down a little harder and then swing right back up. But at this point, there's no entry there. I mean, there is an entry technically if you wanted to take market flow here, but it didn't come down far enough for me to have the time to really think about it. So I'll probably come back down a little further, like way past the green. If it does that, then we could possibly look for the swing back up. But at this moment, and there you go, there goes a market flow if anybody caught that one. It happened too quick. Like I said, you got to be paying attention you got to be super, super focused during this time because the volatility is very high. We got news coming up in about 6 minutes. So I think I might be chilling out for a little bit over here, unless we get like a really quick entry that happens on maybe this next candle here. Because the volatility is pretty high, but if not, let's sit back and wait for the news event. All right, so if this candle swings back green, this is going to be another market flow entry. Last entry before news. If it does happen, 35 seconds left, so there's a lot of time here. $20 seconds left. 15 seconds. 10 seconds. No entry there for market flow. All right, we're really close to news right here at 6:45, so I'm probably gonna sit tight for a little bit, guys. You guys want to wait for news to pass. It's high impact news, so obviously don't really want to risk it. So we got S&P Global Services PMI, Global Manufacturing PMI, Composite PMI at 6:45, all high impact. This is inflation news, so I'm expecting I wouldn't say a spike, but I would expect a decent push. Like you're going to see some movement here. This news event typically does have some sort of volatility spike. Might be something a little lighter than usual, but it's kind of what we're expecting there. So yeah, I'm just going to wait. We got news coming up right here. And then we'll see if we can squeeze something in before 7 o'clock. We have another news event, high impact at 7 o'clock, new home sales. And then if not, that might be it for me for today. I don't think I'm going to trade past 7. We had our volatility right here before 7, so I'm pretty much okay. So I'll try to squeeze one more in before then, but if not, then I'm going to wrap it up for the most part. Yeah, no, definitely. Freddie said, good for the day. Thank you, Sean. I like the entries better now for market flow. Yeah. The market flow entries are smooth. When the market's moving and there's volatility, these market flow entries work very well. I was watching this documentary yesterday about high frequency trading. It kind of got my mind going. I was like, okay, there's a lot of people who actually not necessarily people, but there's a lot of robots and um, high frequency trading, like basically automated trading that trade kind of sort of like what we do, but they just get in a little faster because they're all automated. So I was watching that documentary and I'm like, yeah, we do need volatility because they mentioned that the only time these high frequency traders don't do so well, or whether they start to get flat, is when the market's flat. But when the volatility is high, they're making like thousands to millions to billions of dollars just taking these small little movements in the market. And you guys got to understand, like us as retail traders, we're small fish, right? These firms and hedge funds and institutions out there, that they're trading like in crazy volume. So they're able to push the market around. So for us, as long as you're disciplined and you're able to just get your cut, like I'm just trying to get my low-hanging fruit. For me, I'm not trying to catch these huge moves. I'm just trying to get in and out very quickly. CJ, so I'm not sure what it was called, but if you here, let me YouTube it. It was on YouTube actually. It just came up on my feed, and it was just pretty interesting. Like yeah, so if you look up high frequency trading, let me check over here because it's crazy here. I'll just post in the chat. So just look at that channel. I think they have a couple of videos on there, CJ. I watched two of them actually yesterday. They talked about how like the market crashed in like 2000, like in the 2000s, early 2000s when the market crashed. It crashed because of a high frequency trader. It was a firm, a pension fund that was trading, and they basically made the market crash. And it's crazy. It's like I didn't even know about that because nobody ever talks about it. They try to make it seem like it was some random event, but it was actually a bot that just sold like 2 billion shares, and it made the Nasdaq pretty much, or not the Nasdaq, the made YM pretty much come crashing down like maybe 2,000 points in a few seconds, or 20,000 points. It was pretty nuts. Yeah, the flash crash. Yeah, exactly what Nick just mentioned. The May 6th flash crash. All right, guys, so here's the news candle right here. Let me go and mark it up. So we got news right here. It's pushing up. There we go with the big spike. Price is pushing up just kind of like we anticipated. It's pushing up to our target price point over here. So this is where we expected price to go. Let's check the news event. News event was a little bit mixed. It was positive, negative, positive. For the most part, it was positive though. So price did push up like anticipated. So you can see right here, it had a small volatility spike, not really a continuation, but just a small little volatility spike right there. This price pushed up and reached our target price point over here. Yeah, no, definitely check it out, CJ. It was pretty interesting. Like I wasn't even looking to find this stuff, but it was like on my main page on YouTube when I was just like doing some recovery in the living room, and I played it and I just kept playing his other videos. It's like a legit documentary too. It's not like some homemade stuff. It's pretty legit. It has like interviews and stuff with other high frequency traders out there. All right, guys. So price pushes back up. This is the target price point we're expecting price to kind of come back to. 646 right now. You might want to wait for the market to kind of stabilize a little bit before you start looking for some entries. So maybe give it a few more minutes before you look for any opportunities here. Because price might still be reacting to the 645 news right here. You guys can see it spiked up about, let's see, about like 40 points, and then it came right back down. So it's just a quick little spike. If you want a market flow entry, there could be one right here, possibly if it swings all the way back up. So this is one that I might be okay with taking. Let me see how it moves back up right here. Because I like how it's pulled down a little bit. So if it swings back up, this is probably going to continue climbing. So I'll take this here if it comes back up. Watching it here, 20 seconds. All right, let me get in right.
Hold the sales.
So let's see. I got in at not good price, so I got to move this down a little bit. Stopped out. It's all good. I stopped out on that. All right, so I'm still net one win profit for the day. As you can see, I probably should just wait a little bit. It looked like it was going to be good though, but I mean, it is what it is. So, like I said, we should probably wait a little bit. I ended up entering the trade because the volatility was looking good, but I should have listened to my own advice. You know, we want to wait for the market to finish reacting to the news. And then once the market is done reacting to the news, there's another market flow entry right here, possibly. Because it's still reacting to it. We had this big spike right here on the news release, and then it came right back down. So this is just market still reacting to the news event from earlier, which was only about 3 minutes away. I should have waited at least 5 minutes, but it's whatever. It's my bad. So I'm gonna eat that loss right there. I'll keep looking for another opportunity here for entry. Let me just take this real quick. All right, so let's see. I'm gonna give it a few more minutes right here. Yeah, Stevenson's still in profit overall for today. Yeah, because we had 2 entries that hit, so you should still be in profit if you guys took that last trade. It's just market is reacting to the news event, so I should have waited a little bit longer, maybe another 2 minutes. You can see the manipulation right here. Price pushed up, then it manipulated back down. Probably pushed right back up from here. So it hit the bottom target price point right here, which is the opening price. It looks like this is now going to be the chop in the range. So it looks like price is ranging between the opening price right here and the sessions up here. This is pretty much where price is ranging between. So I'll be okay with trading in between this area. All right, see where we're at. Yeah, exactly. Drew said wipe out Wednesdays. Yeah, the volatility spike. Well, we should have been aware of this because of the news, of course, but yeah, the volatility spikes right now are kind of just going back and forth. We have another high impact news event coming up at 7 o'clock right here. It's new home sales. So at this point, you might want to take it easy after this. All right, so price is coming back down from where it's currently at. If this is the case, the next target price point for it to reach is going to be the liquidity down here. So it looks like the trend is attempting to shift here. You guys can see how the pivots here are starting to change over. The trend meter is turning red. Pivots are angling down. The divergence here is bearish. So we'll see what happens here when price gets down to this liquidity. If price bounces off this area here, odds are it's probably going to climb back up. And there you see the bounce. So getting a bounce right there. I'm looking at the price action. If this here closes green, I think price will probably swing back up. If it doesn't close green, it'll probably continue pushing down, try to reach the liquidity down below right here. All right, so we'll see what happens here. The candle did not close green, so it's probably, and there you go. It went straight down to my target right there. You see where I circled it? Went literally to liquidity. If you guys want to chase these trades, you know, like I think someone asked me this question the other day, how do I take liquidity? I typically take them in the direction of liquidity. I don't really take them at liquidity. I take them when they're on their way to liquidity. That's typically how I used to take them in the past. Here he goes, price pushes down. Next level is going to be the next level of liquidity right here. again, another time you can probably take it and just write it back down to the next level right there. That's how I would take it. This is the Asia low as well. So let me clean this one off. This liquidity is lined up with the Asia low. It's probably going to tap it, probably bounce right off. There you go. Did exactly what I just said. Came down right here. This is now an area of manipulation because this is the Asia low right here. And there goes, price comes down lower. Next target is going to be the level right here, 350 mark. So I don't really like this area where price is currently at right now. Well, I mean, it's fine. I would look for price to come back and then retrace and retest the session right there. Awesome. But I don't like where it's currently at because it had to break through the session. I guess this could have possibly been a market flow entry if you really wanted to take it at that point. But again, I think it's just a little too close to the session. I'm gonna look for it to push up, bounce off, come back down. That could be another opportunity, but there is a high impact news event coming up over here at 7. So I mean, might be better off to hold off on entries. All right, Sadie. Yeah, Sadie said he's done for the day. See you tomorrow. Break even today. Wait for better market conditions. Sell main news. Yeah, exactly. And I agree with you too. There's news right now. It's coming up at 7 o'clock very quickly. So I don't know if we have enough time to even catch anything from now until then. I'm currently in one net win for today, guys. So I'm at one net win for the day, and then I'm currently at one net loss for the week. I was at break even for the week, but I took that last trade, and then now I'm back to just one net loss. So not horrible, but here, let me go and take some screenshots of the entries that we had today. So let me go over here real quick. So we had our first entry that happened right here. This was at 6:33. And I'm putting all these trades in order over here so that you guys can see. So this first one right here was at 6:33. The next one was over here at 6:47. Actually, that's the other one. The other one was right here at 6:35. And the loss was right here at 6:47. So for today, one net win. And then for the week, one net loss. Not too bad. Yeah, it's not too bad because I've halved my risk, so I'm not really like my fluctuations aren't that high. Is if you guys lower your risk, like you won't really worry about the losses as much because when you win the next couple times, since we're doing 1-to-1, you pretty much make it back pretty quickly. So, right, there are our trades for the day so far. I will post a screenshot of my profits. All right. So there's no entries here, guys. Price never really swung back up. We have news coming up in about 3 minutes, so probably gonna hold off for any opportunities here that may come up because it's just a little too risky. Target price point right here, if it continues to drop, is going to be the next level right here. Yeah, this thing just dumped super heavy. Like I was not expecting this to dump down. So that last loss out I took right here, I mean, if you go back, let's just replay it real quick. Like I had no idea this was gonna crash back down, right? We just got caught. We just got unlucky, honestly. Like right here, you can see how price kind of chased up pretty nice, and that's where I took the entry. And then unfortunately, like after that, it just came crashing all the way down. It's just a late reaction to the news. That's the tricky thing about trading news is that you don't know if price is done kind of reacting to it. And that's why it's best to hold off maybe like 5 minutes or so. If I waited till like 650 right here, I would have been better. But you know, what a FOMO that was basically a FOMO trade right there, kind of waiting for that to swing back up. Let's see, Max said he took a 104-point win. Nice. Hopefully that doesn't affect your consistency because then you'll just have to trade another 10 days, which I mean it's fine. It's not a big deal, but yeah, the consistency rule is kind of crazy. Gotcha. Okay, nice. So you stick with a smaller contract. That's perfect. Let's see. Jackson said he FOMO'd into the sell, made it right back. Nice work, Jackson. Nice recovery right there on that. Drew said that NQ is crashing as well. I think there was news release. Let me see if anything was released. I didn't see any breaking news, but there's probably some release with the tech stocks. Yeah, the earnings was released. So this might have been what's causing the drop right now. Not necessarily the news from earlier, but I think there was a earnings release that was released not so long ago. Because it said about 20 minutes ago, which probably would have been around here. All right, guys, here is the news candle right here. It's a little anticlimactic, not really much going on. Price is coming down slightly. So the news right there at 7 o'clock it was mixed. So new home sales month over month was negative. New home sales for the month of June was positive. All right, so let me clean this up right here. All right, so it's 7 o'clock right now, guys. I'll keep looking for some opportunities here. But for the most part, I think I might be wrapping it up for my own trading. Nothing good really happens after 7. Like you might get a good entry here or a decent entry here and there, but for the most part, nothing good, at least for me, happens after 7 o'clock. And you'll probably see the volatility here start to die down a bit. If the volatility continues to be high, then okay, maybe I'll start looking for some more entries, but for the most part, I'm expecting the volatility here to die down quite a bit. And that's just, the usual it's just the usual for stuff like this. All right. So yeah, the market's doing exactly what we expected. So 7 o'clock is my cutoff because of this. The volatility starts to die down and you just get some consolidation from here. So I'll stay on and I'll look for some entries, guys, but I think I might be done trading for my own accounts. I'm okay with the one win for the day. We still have Thursday, Friday, so I'm not gonna force anything or not gonna force anything or FOMO 20 trades here. There's just no need. because we have some more news tomorrow, which will cause some volatility again. Some news pre-market at 5:30, so I'm expecting some possible movement between 6:30 and 7, just like today. The good thing about tomorrow is that there's no news after that. So we got news at 5:30, and then we're pretty much in the clear until 7:30. So hopefully the volatility will be just as high tomorrow. We'll be able to catch a couple more entries, not get caught in fake outs like today. And yeah, we'll probably bounce with it. On Friday, same thing. We have news over here pre-market, and then we have some news over here at 7 o'clock, Michigan consumer sentiment. But other than that, I think tomorrow and Friday will probably give us a good opportunity to take some trades between 6:30 and 7 like we normally do. Today was pretty solid. So the volatility was pretty high. We had opportunities in the very beginning to catch some pretty good moves. Then we just got caught in a reversal right here. So we had one net win for the day. All right, so price here is still sitting down below. It's kind of, that means pretty much doing what we expected. I'll keep following it, but for the most part, I'm probably expecting price to just consolidate down here for a bit. The candles are getting smaller and smaller. Looking over here at our profits for the day. So here are my profits for the day. Profits were a lot nicer a little while ago, but it is what it is. So made about 240 on my personal account, 725 on my Apex account. These are all my Apex accounts. So about like 700 across my Apex accounts, each account. And then down here, my other PA accounts locked in about 300. So not too bad. So we'll say about like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm about like 13,000 in profit for the day. Not too bad. Still one net loss for the week so far. So overall, I think I'm down like maybe $1,000 per account. So just got to make it back tomorrow. Let's see. We have Steven over here. Total profit. Let's see. Almost about 300 for the day. Nice work, Steven. Solid profit there. We have Jonathan over here. Total profit of 495 on his first account, 365 on his second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth account. So total profit of, we'll say, well over 3,000 for the day. Nice work, Jonathan. And a big congrats to Chris over here. Chris got funded his first account with Apex, locked in a 150K account. So nice work right here for Chris. Congrats to him. And I think that's all the profits so far. If you guys have more profits to post up, let's see, we got Sam over here as well. Sam said he did okay. Sam over here locked in a total profit of 254 for the day. Nice work, Sam. Yeah, I mean, profit's profit in a market like this. I think this whole week in general is just kind of it's a tough week to trade. So, if you're making profit in a market like this, I think, it's a really good sign for us. Yeah, CJ said, I'm cool with how the market has been moving this week because last Thursday, Friday was insane. Yeah, I know. I wasn't even here to trade that day, but from what I've heard and what I've seen, yeah, I heard it was moving pretty crazy. I think this is considered a slow week because we have NFP next week. As you guys know, typically every month, there's like 1 week where the market's kind of just flat. It's like flat or it's just choppy. And that's kind of what's happening right here. It's been happening pretty much every day. It's been choppy. So there's 4 weeks in a month. Typically, usually there's one really good week, there's one decent week, there's one bad week, and there's one choppy week. So I think this is a choppy week. Our next week is probably gonna be good again because it's NFP. I don't understand why people always ask questions like this. Like, what happened with Apex? I mean, is there something wrong with Apex? Seems like everything is fine. Okay. Looks like their website's down for some customers. Yeah, I mean, otherwise everything else is fine. So I guess the Apex website might be down right now. Let me check. No, it's working fine for me. I don't see any problems with Apex. They did say it's only for some customers, but it's working fine for me right now. But like, guys, if you guys ever have a question like that, like if you're like, what's up with what happened with Apex, put some detail there so that we know what we're like, what you're talking about. Because I would have had no idea unless I actually looked in their Discord. Otherwise, the website is working fine for us here. Website's working fine. The trade executions worked fine today. I don't really see, yeah, I don't see too much of a problem with Apex today. I'm kind of glad that the Apex Discord, well, it was nice having the Apex Discord up um because because you get the updates on like what's happening and stuff. But it's kind of nice not having like the crazy Discord kind of going all over the place. That's probably their best marketing move for Apex because everyone is always like saying something random in there or complaining about something. I'm actually part of the other Discord, so I'm still part of there's another Apex Discord right here. It's like the unofficial one that like basically the admins created. So I'm just here. If there's anything that's going on, I will uh let you guys know. I don't think everybody's on here. They only invited a certain amount of people. It's basically the admin Discord for Apex. So whoever is making like a lot of profits, I see some familiar faces in there. They basically only invited people who make a lot of consistent profits and the admins. So I'll give you guys updates if there's anything going on with Apex, but for the most part, I don't see any updates here. Looks like they were just talking about it. They said that with Tradeovate, their queues were down for a little bit. But this was from yesterday. It wasn't even from today. So yeah, other than that, there's not really too much going on here, guys. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, you guys can see market is pretty much consolidating and ranging right here now. There's not really much direction. It's pretty much going to consolidate between the 300 and the 200. It just goes down to different levels. So earlier it was consolidating between 300 and 250. Now it's from 250 to 300, or sorry, 250 and 200. And it just continues to, obviously go sideways here. So if you guys have any questions or if you guys have profits to post up, feel free to send them in the group. I posted up my profits over here already, so I'm pretty much good for the day. Let me turn off my Ninja Trader. I don't want to make any dumb mistakes, as you guys know. I feel like after 7 o'clock is when the FOMO really kicks in for a lot of people. Majority of you guys know what that means, right? Like at this point, a lot of you guys are kind of like impatient and waiting for something to come up, and you guys just want to force an entry. So if that's you, it's best to just close out your trading panel. That's what I did. Typically by 7, I close out my laptop just to prevent myself from randomly entering a trade. Sam said on capital.com it's 40,000. Do these different prices make a difference? Not really. This is the actual price. So I wouldn't follow capital.com. Capital.com it's a CFD, so they make up pricing. So whatever capital.com has set as their pricing, that's a fake price. They make up their own pricing. That's why the US doesn't accept, or a lot of these other companies don't accept US clients anymore because of that. Because that's how market gets manipulated. They can pretty much set whatever price, whatever spread they want. So it doesn't necessarily make a difference because you're trading the raw price here. Like you can't just like say for example, price is at 40,225, right? You can't take a buy at 40,000 and expect price to push up because it's not going to push up. It's just that capital.com, they're setting their own pricing so that they can they're basically making a little cut from like everybody else, right? Because they can manipulate price and they can manipulate spread. So they can basically prices where price is at, but they just change the pricing. So they just add an extra or they subtract 200 points from where price is currently at so that they can get their money in commissions and spread basically. Because they create their own spread. So like I mean the spread right now is like at 0, it's like at 1 point. I'm pretty sure the spread on capital.com is a lot higher, right? It's like maybe a couple points. So yes, I mean, it doesn't make a difference for the most part. I mean, you can trade on their server. It's just the real price is 40,206, but they add or subtract pricing so that they can give it some gap to basically manipulate. Yeah, I mean that's the whole point of being a broker, right? Like if I was to open a broker, I would do the same thing. I would add or subtract so that I could have a little cushion there. You could have a little cushion to because what happens with like capital.com and a lot of the other companies is most of them they execute late. So they give a little space there. So like say for example, like let's see, I'm just gonna show you real quick. So you see how price is up here, and then on capital.com, price is like down here, right? So what happens is they let people enter trades, and then with the trades that win, they'll execute those trades, and the trades that lose, they don't execute them. So they make money off the losing traders, basically. Yeah, no problem, Sam. I know that that's what happens when people create their own brokerage or like whatever. They give it some space so that like they know which trades to put in and they know which trades not to. So they kind of just create their own eco space. It's kind of like how FTMO was before, or they still are. Any of these funny companies that don't trade YM or they don't trade on the futures market, they're basically trading on their own fake servers. So yeah, I mean it's crazy and it's smart if they can sucker in people to trade on their brokerage, right? Um, it's kind of like I don't want to call it a dark pool, but it basically is a dark pool. They have a separate server where they compile all of the orders, and then all the winning orders are like, okay, we'll put this in the real market. Then they go into YM, they trade the actual market, and then the losing trades, they just keep all that money, and then they use that to pay out, withdrawals to other people. So it's a crazy cycle. The only thing that would destroy a company like that is if they have a lot of good traders, right? Now that's kind of what happened with MFF. So MFF, they're doing the same thing. And then what happened was a lot of good traders ended up coming to them. Like we had a lot of our traders here in our group that were trading with them. And we were killing it. Like I think during that year, we were just making a ton of profit. And then they ended up going bankrupt. They couldn't pay anybody out because instead of them having a bunch of losing traders, they had a bunch of winning traders and they didn't actually execute those trades. So they just went bankrupt. Yeah, exactly. CRX MFF. I don't think anybody will ever, I don't think anybody will ever forget about that because a lot of these brokerages, that's how they make money. They make money off the losers. But when you have people who are actually doing well, it makes, it basically bankrupts the company. That's why I only trade with futures now, because when you trade on futures, these trades are like you're getting the legit pricing. And you know that they have some sort of risk involved and they're also registered, like they're regulated and stuff like that. But all right, guys, I know we kind of went off topic here, but there's still nothing going on. I just want to give you guys a little update. Price is still ranging between the 250 and the 200 level right here. So don't worry, you guys are not missing out on anything. Yeah, CJ said, I told y'all, MFF stood for Mad FEO funds. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. It is crazy. So like I said before, guys, these funding companies, I would highly recommend that you just milk them for what they're worth, like, because they're not going to be around forever, honestly. I mean, there's going to be maybe one or two that are going to stay standing, but a lot of these funding companies, once money gets tight, they're either going to they're going to go bankrupt or they're going to start to do some stuff that like isn't favorable for the trader. Like I know a lot of people, like everyone vouched for FTMO like way back in the day, right? FTMO is different now. They're not the same. Like not a lot of people use FTMO and they try to have some strict rules now and they just don't like they don't pay out a couple people in our group as well. We have like a handful of people who still trade with FTMO who are living in the UK, and they've been trading the same way for years. Like we've been trading the same style for whenever we started using FTMO, which was like maybe 4 years ago or even longer. And all of a sudden, now recently, they're not paying them out because they just don't think they don't want to pay them out for the strategies like this our trading style, which is crazy. After they've been getting paid out for years. So yeah, just be wary about your funding companies. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. That's what I'd like to say. Like it's okay to put your eggs in one basket right now. Like for example, if you're using Apex, I'm only using Apex right now, but I'm also trading my personal account. So I'm trading Apex. A lot of my payouts and withdrawals and stuff, they go straight to my personal account. And then from there, I'm just going to be scaling my personal account higher. So right now my personal account is at like 7 contracts. I make about like 500 to 700 per trade. When that account grows higher, I'll increase the contract size and then I'll just start making more and more money on my personal account where I don't have to depend on Apex as much. But Apex is great. I mean, right now they're paying out, they're solid, they're consistent. So I'm gonna keep using them. And then if another good company comes around, I'll also add them to my copier as long as I can find a NinjaTrader compatible funding company. Yeah, CJ said I think FTMO took a large hit when they stopped accepting US traders. Yeah, I agree 100%, CJ. And then there's all these other funding companies that kind of popped up too. I mean, I feel like every week there's a new funding company that's up. It's crazy. Let's see. CRS is asking, is a 3K live account pretty good enough to trade one contract, Sean, and gradually increase as the account grows? Um, I don't think you could even trade a 3K account CRX, not with a regulated futures company. I mean, you possibly could with other companies, but not with a regulated one. Like if you're trading with NinjaTrader like I am, I think the minimum to just even execute a trade would be 5,000 in the account. You need to have enough capital to cover the margin. So the margin is a little bit higher here in the US that's regulated because they don't want people blowing their account because the leverage isn't as high. So I'm not sure if 3K will even fit the criteria, like to have margin to even open a trade, because you need to cover initial margin first, which is going to be like their minimum. You just need to have the money in the account. You're not going to risk it, but you need to have money in the account to even take a trade. So if you could find one that allows for 3K, you might have to trade the micro though. So just keep in mind, if you're not trading YM, you could also trade MYM, which is going to be the micro. So on here, you can trade with a 3K account because you're going to be trading, instead of dollars, you'll be trading seven. So you know how you're trading 75 on YM? If you're trading on micro, you'll be trading $7.05. So you could probably trade the micro. You just can't trade and you can see it's the same thing. There's nothing different. It's just the micro. So this is YM. If you go to MYM, it's the same exact thing. It's just worth less. So yeah, you technically can trade with 3K, and yeah, you can gradually grow your account. You can start at 3K and then once you start to make more money. So like what I do with my personal account is I risk 5% per trade. So 5% per trade, 10% per day. You know, if we have a good day, I'll be up like 10%. If we have an okay day, I'll be up 5%. And then from there, I gradually increase. And then every time I go up like 1,000 in account equity, then I start to increase my contract size. So you just said, keep getting all these instant funding companies popping up on my feed now. There's one instant funding company that I'm looking at, guys. I'm not going to recommend it to you guys until I actually use them and I get a payout. But there is one that I'm looking at. They're just kind of they're just a little sketch right now because they don't accept like credit card payments and they don't have NinjaTrader. So once they have NinjaTrader, I'll start using them because I can just add them to my copier. And I'll let you guys know how it is, but they're just a little sketch right now because they're not accepting, like I don't want to wire them money or send them Bitcoin, of course. So if they're good, I'll recommend them to you guys, but right now I'll have to try them out first. I'll never recommend anything to you guys that I haven't tried out yet, right? So I'm gonna try it out first, get a payout, make sure they're consistent, and then I'll let you guys know so that you guys can use them too. Let's see. CRX is asking, what's the price per contract? So let me see. If you guys are ever curious, like what an asset is worth, just go to the asset. You click like buy or sell. If you put one contract right there, so it's 15 points, or let me see. It's actually 50 cents. So per point, it's 50 cents. CRX. So if you wanted to risk, you said like 75, you would do, I mean, you do a lot of contracts, like 150 contracts to risk $75. That's per point though. So if you're doing 15 points and you want to risk 75, you'll use 10 contracts. So if you want to still risk 75, use 10 contracts at MYM 1515, and that's where you can find out. So it's pretty simple to figure out how much everything is worth now because you can do it on TradingView. Pretty much kind of tells you exactly what to use. Yeah, no problem, CRX. I think when you start trading your personal account, you're gonna take your trading more seriously. Honestly, that's why my discipline is so high because I have real money on the line. It's not just Apex that I'm trading. I'm trading my personal account. So you don't see me here taking a lot of dumb trades, right? You might see me take one dumb trade here and there, but for the most part, my discipline's pretty high because I'm risking like 1,000 of my own money. It's not Apex money, it's my money. So that's why I care more about my discipline here. And when I make profit, I'm like, great. When I lose, I'm like, okay, whatever, because I've lowered my risk. But when you guys have actual money on the line, trading your personal account, you're not going to YOLO your trades, of course. You're going to take like only the ones that you feel are valid and will meet criteria. Steven said every time he makes profits, he sets them aside like poker chips and then he puts them in gold. Nice, Steven. Yeah, exactly. CRX said it's either nice dinner or instant ramen, right? That's exactly how it is. All right, guys, if there's any other questions that you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat. 7:25 right now. I mean, we still have some time till 8 o'clock, but there's just not much happening in the market, as you guys can see. The volatility is pretty low, and I'm just not expecting too much to happen from now until 8 o'clock. So I'll probably hang around for another 10 minutes or so, just to make sure that there's no questions that are missed. Yeah, I just don't really see much happening here. Let's take a look at the news for today. We have some gas stock change news over here at 7:30. This happens every Wednesday, so we might get some movement and volatility right here, but I'm not expecting too much. Looking over here at retail sentiment is currently 64% short. So you can see a lot of people either got wiped out when the price was spiking up or they dumped their sells and price came back down. There's no breaking news here from CNBC. Yeah, I mean, there's not really too much here going on. All right. So let's go back to the charts here. Yeah, there's nothing going on here. As you guys can see, price is still just consolidating and ranging between middle area right here. And I'm not expecting much to happen here. So my prediction for price direction for the rest of the day is, let's see. I think price is going to climb back up. I think price will be back bullish and it'll push back to opening price. That is that's kind of where I expect price to go today. It might not happen right now, might happen like in the next couple hours, might happen at the end of the session, but I do think price eventually will swing back up to opening price. Reason for that is because retail sentiment is still on the sell side. And on top of that as well, I'm just expecting a bit of a correction. The reason for that is because of this big dump right here, right? So I see this big dump. I'm expecting the correction to happen eventually. It might not happen right now. Like price might just go sideways here for a bit. It might even come down even further. Just range here and then eventually just make its climb up. Yeah, exactly. Sam's hit a lot of fair value gaps. There's just everything's kind of pointing towards the upside because of this big drop right here. Right? This big drop over here just didn't really make sense. So I was so surprised to see my spike right here. I was expecting at least a little push up. So like the trade right here that I lost, I wasn't expecting price to break past this area, but I was like, okay, I'm gonna get in for a little bit, right? That's where our TP stop loss was. I was like, okay, come back and retest this area just one more time to hit our TP. As soon as I got in, price kind of sat there for a little bit and then it spiked down. And then this huge dump happened right here. So it was like it was totally unexpected. That's just how trading is sometimes, guys. Like you guys have to understand that you could have the best analysis out there. You guys can expect like something to happen for sure. And then price can easily just go the opposite. There's like no news that happened there. There wasn't even earnings that were released. There was news at 7 or 6:45, but it wasn't enough to have a big dump like this. Because if you measure from this high point down to here, that's a 300-point drop within like 30 minutes. I probably see this much drop for the entire day, but not in like 30 minutes, right? Like I would expect it, okay, price would have came down a little bit, maybe consolidated here, and then slowly came down slower and slower. But I wasn't expecting something like this where it just straight went down and then consolidated. But yeah, it's just part of the game. You got to take the wins when they come, eat the losses when they happen, and then just move on. Because if you get too stuck on something, then that's where you start to get FOMO. You start to want a revenge trade, and things kind of just go downhill from there. So there goes the news right here. Not really much, just a gas stock change right here at 7:30. Yeah, CJ said maybe market was trying to correct itself from last week's trip to the freaking moon. Yeah, I know. Yesterday or last week, the market was it was mooning. If you guys remember from like Monday, Tuesday, we were just making some crazy, crazy profits. Like, well, not crazy profits, but we're making pretty good wins. And the market just kept pushing up higher and higher. So yeah, it could be some sort of correction here. Let me check let's go on the 4-hour chart. Yeah, it's still correcting here, as you guys can see. Price pretty much mooned on, yeah, it climbed up Thursday, Friday. So we traded over here from Monday up until this is recently. Price pretty much mooned like from let's see. Actually, this was last week. Sorry. I forgot I was on the 4-hour chart. So yeah, this was from last week. So price pretty much went up from here, this lower low, up to here. So it pushed up about 2,000 points, which is crazy, right? That's crazy. That's like so if you guys remember the market crash that we were talking about earlier this morning, this happened in like a matter of minutes. The market crash that happened based off trading bots. This dumped about 2,000 points in a matter of just a few minutes. Everyone pretty much freaked out, and then it recovered right after. But yeah, pretty much from like last Monday up until now, it corrected back down. So big dump, big push up right here from Monday up until Thursday, and then it just dumped all the way back down. So yeah, you got a good point there, CJ. I didn't even think about that from last week. It's just correcting back down from that big push. Yeah, CJ said literally, if you took a buy last week, you're going to win, just like it was during COVID. Yeah, right. During COVID and during Trump's time, you could if you guys traded around that time with us, like you could just take a buy. You could even make a mistake buy just some random buy and it'll climb up. It was nice because I kind of wish we had these levels back then, right, CJ? Because if we had these levels right here, you can pretty much set a pending order at like any levels. Like price could come down and then bounce off and go right back up. Like we knew about the levels back then. I just didn't create this indicator until recently. But that would have been nice because you can catch literally every bounce, like come up, bounce. Like that. Yeah, see, just ironically, Trump got shot last week, so maybe there's something to that too. I was expecting the market to be very bullish this week because Biden passed. He dropped out of the race, but it's not really doing what we expected. So, I mean, we'll see. Kamala's going to start. Kamala Harris is going to start running. Well, I mean, she's already running, but she's going to start campaigning harder over the next couple of weeks. So, I think it'll be interesting. I'm not even sure if they'll have a debate. They said they were going to agree to a debate, but I think one of them backed out. We do need a debate between them two, though, obviously. All right, guys, there's still nothing going on here. As I said earlier, once 7 o'clock hits, like it hit right here, it's just consolidation, right? It's just straight consolidation. So not really expecting too much here to happen. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, I think I'll be wrapping this up pretty soon, guys. There's just no reason to be on the charts right now. I don't want you guys to FOMO into any trades. If there was some volatility here, then great. If price was coming down, like, okay, I'll give you guys some entries and some steps for you guys. But right here, there's just not too much going on. This is probably the worst time to trade because the volatility is even lower. Yeah, so you measure these candles. Each candle is like less than 20 points. These candles right here are like 6 points. There's just no reason to trade in a market like this where price goes back and forth. I mean, if you really wanted to take a trade, I guess you could take like some V1 variations. But even then, I don't think very many of them are coming up. There's a CV entry that came up right here. So yeah, I guess you could have taken a CV entry right here if you really, really wanted to. It would have taken a while to hit, but nonetheless, it was a CV entry. But that's all I can really show you guys or advise you guys to take right now. Like I would take, if you guys are still looking to take some entries, take V1 variations or CV entries, but in the direction of the trend. So right here, there's a V1 variation. I mean, technically you could take it in both ways. So like there was a CV entry right here. It was against the trend though. Yeah, I would just take it with the trend. So again, right here, another CV V1 variation entry. I personally wouldn't take it, but I'll mark it up right there for you guys to see. And this is kind of what I want to avoid, right? I don't want to be showing you guys trades that like I don't think are quality, and then you guys end up taking them and you end up getting like eating a loss or something like that. But this will probably push up. I do think price will be bullish, so like I'm expecting this to climb. This is a CV entry. The reason why it's a CV entry is because we have or actually, I take that back. This is not a CV entry. This is just a V1 variation. In order for it to be a CV entry, this would have to be the lower candle, but this one is lower, so this is just a V1 variation. It's a V1 variation against the trend, and that's what makes it risky because you don't want to be trading against the trend. You want to be trading with the trend, and I mean, this is just one setup right here. So, all right, guys, let's see if there's more team profits over here. So let's see. Delicia said she took some losses on Monday, starts a red bench trade, and got set back to 2.6, slowly growing it back out of this week's loss. Made 600 yesterday, closed my ninja, doing the same today, done trading. So Delicia over here locked in 1,255, 1,460, 1,435, and 1,410. So she locked in a total profit of well over 4,000 for the day. But you can see over here, she's slightly in the red because, like she mentioned, she took some losses on Monday and then started revenge trading. So that happens, and she did the smart thing here. She said she made up most of her losses, and then now she's closing her ninja and done trading for the day. That's like the best thing you guys can do. If you guys are happy with your profits for the day, like for myself, I'm happy because I'm basically at a break even. I'm at one net loss for the week, plus fees and commission. So close to like a two net loss maybe, but for the most part, we could make that back over the next couple of days. So that's why I'm wrapping it up. But all right, guys, if there's any other questions that you guys have or any more profits that you guys want to post up, feel free to post them in the group here. Otherwise, I think I'm going to wrap this up for the day. There's just nothing for us to take here. I don't want to force you guys into taking any bad trades because there's really nothing good to take here right now. If you guys do want to continue trading, of course, I do recommend you trade in the direction of the trend. Right now, the trend is bearish. And the reason for that is because price is below the pivots. The trend meter is red. Pivots are angling down. The divergence here is bearish. So if you see any V1 variations where price comes up and it reverses, then okay, great, take the sell. But there's no market flow entries here because the volatility is so low. And I think the only thing you can really look for are just bounces off structure with reversal patterns. But other than that, I don't think you guys should trade. So if you guys don't need to trade, I would just call it a day, come back tomorrow fresh. If you guys do decide to continue trading, I would recommend you start trading a little later. So not right now, wait for the market to pick up. So maybe between 8:30 and 9 down here is going to be your sweet spot for market volatility to pick back up. Right here, I think market will continue to be slow, probably some consolidation here, back and forth. But eventually, I do expect price to climb back up. So some consolidation right here. And then eventually, I'm expecting a climb back to the upside right here to opening price. But that's just me. That's kind of where I see price going. Might happen right in a little bit, might happen a lot later. There's no guarantee for like when it's going to happen, but that's kind of where I'm expecting price to go if it does go that way. So, all right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up for the day. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Tomorrow we have some news, so expecting some volatility. We have jobless claims, initial jobless claims, continuing jobless claims tomorrow morning, 5:30. So we're gonna get some volatility right there. I'm expecting some movement, not a huge spike, but maybe like less than 100 points pre-market. And then it's going to pick back up when market actually opens. Same with Friday over here. We have PCE price index, some inflation news, plus Michigan consumer sentiment. And again, that's going to be pre-market into market session. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for the day. If you guys have any questions, reach out. Otherwise, I will see you guys